So before you go taking the starter off, you know, you think you got starter troubles. Before you go taking the starter off, you really need to make sure that that's the problem before you take it off. And there's a lot of things that come into play. A lot of times it could be a bad battery, it could be a bad cable, it could be a bad ground, it could be a lot of things. So you really want to try to eliminate everything you can eliminate rather than just going and buying parts. If you've got a volt ohm meter, this is a cheap one, this is an expensive one, it doesn't matter. All you have to do is read voltage. So it doesn't matter how much the meter costs. What matters is that you look at it and you find out what's going on. So if you go to the battery and you check the battery, and the battery should be like 12.6, 12.8 volts, something like that, if it's fully charged. And you can put your test leads on there and put this someplace where you can watch it. And when you try to start the vehicle, whether it's a tractor, truck, or whatever, look and see if the voltage drops on the battery when you go to hit the starter. If that voltage drops down to, 11 volts or something like that, or even below that, chances are you might have a bad battery, you might have a shorted starter. But you really need to find out exactly what the battery voltage is. Then the next thing I like to do is I like to go right to the starter, and I put my test leads right on the starter. You can use some jumper leads, and I'll show you a pair of them real quick. You can use a set of these retractables, and you can hook your test leads to one end and hook these right onto the starter and read the voltage at the starter. So if your battery is showing you 12.8 and you go to start it and the starter is showing you 4 or 5 or 7 or something like that, it's not getting the voltage down to the starter. So you need to make sure if the battery was bad and the battery went down to 7 volts, the battery voltage at the starter is going to be 7 volts also. It's going to stay the same. You don't want to see too much of a voltage drop between the battery voltage and the voltage that's available at the starter. That's the most important thing. If you find out that voltage is dropping a lot going to the starter, then you need to look at the cables. You need to try to find out why you're not getting that voltage down to there. Maybe you got a dirty connection. Maybe you've got a bad ground. You've got a lot of things going on there, but single them out and then make sure the voltage in the battery and the voltage available at the starter stays the same. That's the most important part. The next one's going to be is if the starter just clicks and doesn't spin. So the solenoid on the top has to throw the drive all the way out before it will make contact to let power get to the motor. So if part of the solenoid is bad, a lot of times there's a big copper disc in here that slides back and forth. If that solenoid's bad or that copper disc is bad, it doesn't power up the starter. So that could be a lot of your problems too, is just the solenoid. You could probably just take and, if that's the case, if it clicks and it doesn't start, go looking at the solenoid. Again, you can check the voltage at the starter when it clicks to see if you're getting voltage to the starter. So your volt ohm meter, and this one probably was $25, something like that. It's a cheap one. That one over there is $150, but you don't have to have a good one, just something to use every now and again. It's going to save you a lot of time. It's a lot of time, a lot of money. So check your battery voltage, check your starter voltage. If it's just clicking, you can check your solenoid and so on. We're going to disassemble this starter and take a look at it. And one thing that I always do is I always take a paint marker and I mark my solenoid. I mark my drive. I mark my brush housing. And I also mark this one right here. So this is a gear reduction. This is a Denso. It's off of a Yamaha diesel. And I always mark my gear housing because there is a notch in there, and when you go to reassemble it, it takes a lot less time to try to find your paint marks than it does to start turning everything and get everything to line up. So real quick, take some paint marks, mark your housings, And that way when you take it apart, you won't have a problem putting it back together again. I hope some of this made sense to you. I can't preach enough on a volt ohm meter. It's your best buddy in the world when it comes time to working on something. Check your your car won't start. You go out, you put the thing on your car, you can check your battery voltage. A wonderful tool. Without one of them, you're in the blind. 12 millimeter. Just be careful with the nuts and bolts on the solenoid to make sure that you don't over tighten them or loose. Taking them loose is one thing, but don't let them spin on you where they are going to crack that housing, because then you'll be buying a new solenoid whether you need one or not. Pull that wire off of there. So that's your motor wire. Next thing we're going to take off is we'll just pop that solenoid off of there real quick. And inside the solenoid, it's got a little T-slot that slots into the shifting fork that throws the drive in. So when the solenoid comes out, lift up on it and it'll slide right out. See that little flat tab right there? That hooks in to this little shifting fork right here. So you just slide it right out. Pull these big long bolts out of here. And try to keep the motor together if you can. And hold the gear case, which is the front black one, and slide the nose cone off. Just like that. So you can see there's a bushing in the end of that nose cone that looks like it needs lubricated really bad. Here's your little shifting fork, and where it attaches to the solenoid right here at the top. Here's your starter drive, and this is what you got to really watch to make sure that this is well lubricated. If you're going to put a new drive in it, you can pop this ring off right here. If the old drive comes off, you put on a new drive, you put that ring back on. This one, the drive's good, it just needs some lubrication and it needs cleaned up. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take the gear drive off of it, which is this section here. We're just going to lift the gear drive off. So there's your gear drive. Set of planetaries in there. The gear reducts it. So the motor's spinning way faster than what the drive's spinning. Next thing we have now is we have our drive motor, and we have to remove our brush case, which is these two Phillips screws right here. These Densos are really a good little starter. So you slide the brush case off like that. Now you can see all the grime and pieces of copper off the armature and everything else in there. This is all going to have to get cleaned up, and also this bushing in here is going to get lubricated when we go back together again also. So the next thing would be to take the armature out, pick the brushes up, this one here, we're just going to slide it apart real easy. We're going to push the armature right out of the middle of it. There's your armature. Here's your brushes. Your brushes look good. They're wore a little bit, but they don't look too bad. We're just going to clean that all up real good. There's your field windings. They need cleaned up. Now if you look at this armature, you'll see that all these commutator segments are just about filled in together. There should be a little gap between each one of them. Very small little file. works really great. And you lay it down right in those commutator segments, and you go back and forth and you push that slot clean. And you'll see how much carbon and crud comes out of there. But I'll get every one of these cleaned up, and then I'm going to go back and I'll polish that. Scotch-Brite does a beautiful job. Looks like brand new. I've got the housing and the brushes all cleaned up. Field windings. Starting fluid works real good. You can get in there and wipe off as much as you can and use starting fluid and clean the rest of it. I got the tail shaft housing cleaned up, and I've lubricated the inside bearing. I've lubricated my starter drive. I took my little cover off of here, and I got in here and I lubricated all of my planetary gears. This needle bearing in the nose cone right here was terribly dry. I cleaned it all out, cleaned it out with starting fluid, got down in there and repacked it with some fresh lube. And what I like to do is take the spring off to the side. So you see here where I've pulled the brush back and I put the spring to the side, so the spring is pushing on the side of the brush. And I'll do all four of them like that. Then I'll set my armature up in there, and then I'll go back and I'll push the brushes down against the armature. So here's all four of them ready to go. I'll put the armature back in. Line it up with the housing here, and when you get it flush like that, we'll start pushing those brushes back down. So there's all four of them back against the armature. Now we're going to go ahead and put the tail section back on. Line up our mark. That's where your marks come in awful handy. Line up those marks. Put the two screws back in. And keep a hold of the armature so the armature doesn't fall out. For right now, we're just going to put the screws in. We're not going to tighten anything yet. We're just going to put them all in. Make sure everything gets started. Then we're going to put our planetary gears on, and we're going to line up that mark. Right there's our mark for our planetary gears. When it goes all the way down, you'll see that it lines up. Now we're going to put our shift fork on, and we're going to lubricate that shift fork a little bit, and the race that it rides on there. And where it pivots. You'll see it line up. just snug. Now we're ready to put the solenoid in. So you see the little square notch, and you see the little square notch. The starter gear needs to be all the way out. So hold out on the starter gear. Set the solenoid in place like that. So you can see it's attached to the gear. And then just go ahead and push the bolts in, start the nuts. And we're going to put those in and we're just going to snug them. And they're snug. Now everything's together. All our timing marks are lined up. Solenoid, planetaries, tail shaft, nose cone. Only thing we have to do now is we're going to go back and we're going to tighten everything down. We're going to hook up our wire, and then we're going to get a battery charger out. Put the ground right on the starter. Put the power right on here where your battery feed would be. And then what I'll do is I'll hold on to it real tight, and I'll just jump the solenoid right here real quick. Try to get it where you can see it a little better, so you can watch the drive come out. That ought to do it. Let me crank up some juice here. So as soon as I touch that solenoid wire, this drive should fly out and that motor should spin. I'd say we're good to go. Probably better off you buy a starter, but a lot of times you can just go in there and clean them up. Get by for quite a while. Hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching.